You know, somebody said with the mass deportations Trump is doing, that that's going to leave all of these manual labor jobs without workers. Well, who do you think is going to do that work now? Who do you think is going to have to do all of those jobs that migrant workers have been doing for next to nothing? It's you. It's you. That's the new gig economy: picking fruit, washing dishes, cleaning hotel rooms, day labor, landscaping. Oh, did you think that they were telling you that you don't need college or that college is pointless because of neo-Marxist postmodernism and critical race theory? Is that what you thought? Turns out it was because they didn't want you to be overqualified to pick oranges. They didn't want you to think that you were too good to work at a warehouse. They didn't want you to assume that you could make a livable income on just one job instead of two or three. See, the people on the upper decks of the ship, they know that the ship is sinking long before the people in the steerage, and they have first access to those lifeboats. The elites have known for quite some time that America is going under, and they've already made their plans. They've already made their arrangements, and they made very different arrangements for you. You've been slotted to go down with the ship.
Hey, white people, I heard them orange fields was open for y'all to go work now. They took all y'all's jobs, now they gone. Y'all jobs is wide open now. You about to go pick an orange? Somebody said you can't even last in the sun. Ooh. What kind of spirituals y'all about to sing? All them jobs is wide open for you, baby. Go get them. Y'all about to go clean them hotels. Y'all about to do all types of stuff. They get paid by the pound. Y'all gonna need unions, AC breaks, 15 minutes. Y'all gonna cook in that motherfucking sun. This what y'all voted for. This what y'all voted for. Oh, they was taking all the jobs. You should be rolling in the dough right now. All them jobs is open. All of them. Go get them. Go get them in the sun. I want to see y'all. I want to drive by in my shit and see y'all in the fucking field picking oranges. That's what the fuck I want to see.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine wherever you are today. Now, this is your presenter, Jinjok Stories, and I'm believing that you're great wherever you are. Now, there is a predicament that is happening in the United States today. As you know, there is a mass deportation that I think it's still going on, and different sectors, different economical sectors of the United States is affected, right? Because the minority groups, especially other groups like Latinos, few Africans who came to the United States to do work, they were doing some jobs which were, they seem to be negligible in the eyes of vast majority of people. But again, the effects are being felt when the immigrants who worked, right? For example, for picking, they worked and they showed, their importance. But right now, while most of them are deported, it means that there are gaps, right? And the world is asking, white people are always complaining that immigrants are coming and doing ABCD and taking their jobs. Why don't you go now and go do the job, right? And this is all is happening after the result of Mr. Donald doing what he did. Maybe he had good intentions, or maybe things didn't go the way it is. But I'm getting to look at the mass deportation is really affecting majority of people, even the innocent people, even legal immigrants. And I've seen people complaining about this, people trying to talk about this, and this all is a reflection. This all is a symbolism that the U.S. empire is falling. And I think right now, even a 3-year-old, 5-year-old baby kid should know that it's true that, the U.S. empire is falling, because the oligarchs up there, they already know, and they're trying right now to make it hard for you, And when we have food shortages and you're seeing a lot of sanctions, a lot of tariffs that the US is trying to do to Canada, and look at how Canada retaliated in regards to what happened, this all shows you that everyone is standing against the US, even the Canada itself, because the Canada retaliated by boycotting products from the United States. This means that there'll be no exports for the country, and this is going to affect the country, how the country is going to raise its wealth. And again, when the immigrants have gone, this also symbolizes that you're gonna not be having food, and this is that part that was so much neglected, and it seemed like people who did those works were not qualified to do good jobs. But again, it shows that there is a dent in the system, right? So I want us to watch this video. These are people that are sharing their meltdowns, sharing how it's so hard for them to cope, and I hope you learn from the video. I hope you see and learn from the video. Let's watch the video. I'll be back and we'll have a discussion about this.
As somebody who covers food distribution, sustainable agriculture, and local food economies for her work, I think that we in America are in for a real rude surprise when it comes to the cost of our food and the limitations to the kind of food that we are going to have access to over the next few years. I realize that everybody who voted for the Cheeto thought that their grocery prices were going to fall. And, well, frankly, that was foolish of them to expect that. They thought they were going to sell out their brown neighbors and have them deported, and in exchange, they were going to get cheaper eggs. But they don't actually understand how agriculture works in America and who works our farms. So while we're seeing things like Arabica coffee and other imported foods shooting up in price, and the more conflict that the Cheeto manufactures with other nations, the more those prices will go up and up. The more tariffs get rolled out, the more those prices will go up and up. Because you know who pays a tariff? It's the consumer. It's us, the American people. It's not the nation we're buying goods from. It's not the Cheeto. It's us. So when he slaps on tariffs because some country hurt his fifis, that raises the prices for you and for me. But also, we are seeing farms across America halting harvests. In many states, including Texas, here in Oregon, much of the South, as much as 50% of our farm laborers are undocumented. And they're not showing up to work right now because they're afraid of getting raided by ICE and getting deported. California just announced a halt on citrus harvesting. They don't have any workers. Strawberries in Florida. Crops all around America are rotting in the fields, and more of them will. Because I guess our racism matters more than actually having food to eat. We are really willing to cut off our nose to spite our face here in the US, to scapegoat immigrants at the cost of our own food supply. Well done, America. And I have yet to see any Trumpers who are willing to quit their job and take a minimum wage job or a job that is paid by the pound. So good luck on you folks who've never worked in agriculture picking fast enough to even make enough money to pay for your commute. So we're going to see imported foods become more and more expensive. People will be priced out of affording those foods. And comparable foods will not be available in the US because we have nobody to plant and tend and harvest, much less process those foods. Good luck with the price of beef now that you are starting to deport all of our slaughterhouse workers. Say goodbye to that roast chicken dinner. Everything is about to get much more expensive, and what is available on grocery store shelves will be far more limited. For those of you that were fine throwing your brown neighbors under the bus because you thought it was going to get you cheaper eggs, welcome to the find out phase.
When white folks say black people didn't earn it, we all know that's just projection. 95% of Trump's cabinet is completely incompetent, unqualified white people. In America, the good old boy network is often more the reality than merit-based hiring. This is a perfect example of why DEI exists in the first place. Because in America, obviously, inequality, discrimination, and white racism is off the fucking charts. And it always has been. These are facts, folks. So when they say merit-based hiring, fuck you. A perfect example. Obama, as a black man, had to be literally perfect in every possible fucking way imaginable to get elected. He was a highly educated lawyer, a genuine family man, literally zero scandals, experienced in government, who was a true unifier that possessed integrity, moral character, ethics, eloquence, intelligence, and carried himself with dignity, respect, and he honored the office. With Trump, there's too many amoral, inhumane things to list, so I'll just touch on a few. Trump, as a white man, was elected despite being the most divisive, corrupt, immature, lying, manipulative, deceitful, treasonous, fascist, and criminal person to ever run for the presidency. Not to mention, who is a proven sexual predator and an openly racist person. My point is this: black folks in America need more than just merits and qualifications to get into positions in many white-run establishments. Not only do they have to be perfect, they need establishments and institutions that do not discriminate. Which is why in a white supremacist nation, DEI is critical to help with equality and justice. But now the term DEI and DEI hire is being recoined as the new N-word for many far-right racists like our current administration. Important initiatives like CRT and words like woke have been distorted and demonized by far-right extremists in order to destroy racial progress and justice. These are the modern narratives of our diseased white supremacist nation. So when that racist motherfucker Trump says black and brown folks didn't earn it, he's just fucking projecting. Because he is likely the most unqualified, degenerate leader of a country in human history. Remember this. If you remember anything, remember this. There's only one reason Why diversity, equity, and inclusion is being aggressively dismantled. Why black history is literally being erased. And why brown and black immigrants are being rounded up. Because our government is currently leading the largest white supremacist movement since Jim Crow laws started in 1865. Never let their hate and inhumanity become normalized. We must fight these racist far-right extremists at every single turn. Good luck.
What do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck?
Because that's by design. These are all manufactured problems. Y'all had to get on an app made by the Chinese to learn that. But when black people were trying to tell y'all this,
dry up them fucking crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these fucking decades. And y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white.
Anybody get the food. I remember 10 years ago, they were looking for workers to pick strawberries. No white people pick strawberries for any price. No price. No price.
Y'all remember when Trump was saying black jobs and that illegal immigrants are taking black jobs, and everyone was like, what's black jobs? Like, what do you mean black jobs? He was referring to the hard labor that the illegal immigrants were doing for pennies on the dollar. And now that he's president and the ICE raids are taking place and they're shipping the illegal immigrants back, and now people are saying, like, well, you know, grocery prices are going to go up, and, you know, who's going to do all the cheap labor now? They're hoping that black people go back because previously, before mass immigration took place, black people were doing those things. It was black people doing the cheap labor for pennies on the dollar because they couldn't get employment anywhere else. They were picking strawberries. They were in the slaughterhouses. They were doing the labor that no one else wanted to do. And now that these DEI initiatives are being rolled back, they're going to be looking towards black people to pick up the slack and pick up the lost labor that the now illegal immigrants won't be able to do. They're going to be looking towards black people for it, the hard labor.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're fine again. Now, listening all the perspective of everyone that talked on the platform, you get to notice one thing. Everyone is complaining. At least there is no one that is saying that they are contented with what they did. At the end of the day, some people will argue that either Mr. Donald or Harris, there is no one which is good, or there was no one that is good. Either of them, they had the same problem, right? But again, looking at the effects that the mass deportation has caused for the family of the United States and even the citizens of the United States, and how it has affected the economy of the United States, really tells you a lot that there is a lot that is happening. And I think it's time that people get to realize this. And black folks on the peripheral, for the longest time, they were complaining also about the choices that people make. But at the end of the day, as usual, if it's a black folk which is talking, it doesn't matter. But I think it had to happen this way so that it makes sense to a large group of people. I mean, in regards to something that is happening. Because look, when we talk about civil rights movement, it was led by a couple of black folks, black leaders. When we talk about affirmative action, black women, black men, right? So all this signifies that everybody that is complaining at some point needs black voices. But we're not seeing today, black people are now waking up. Black folks are awake, and they know that this is not our fight. And it is time for us to just watch things. Let us all suffer. Because in as much as they try to fight for these folks, they take them for granted. Look at other communities, for example, the Asian community, the Latino American community. All these people benefited from the affirmative action, from the civil rights movements. We are having these not platforms really. We are having these spaces. We're having these talks talking about black voices. This is when people get to see, or a group, Africans, Asians, who are going to the United States to have these opportunities. But at the end of the day, when the mass deportation happened, it really revealed that there are gaps, because there are those jobs that can't be taken. White people can't take, right? And if white people can't take this job, who's gonna be picking the fruits? Who's gonna be doing all these jobs if it's not you? So this means that there'll be insufficiency in some places that you are needed to work. And I feel like it's important that people are standing to address this issue. And I hope the United States find a solution to all this problem, because the oligarchs at the front of the deck, they are running the ship so crazily. Like just Shahid Bolson said, it will take time for the people behind to realize that the empire has already fallen, because indeed it has fallen, right? But just people at the back are the ones who are not even realizing that it's already fallen. So there's a lot that is going on. There's a lot to be unraveled. There's a lot to be revealed. And I think all the circles that the United States is going through, just like Rome, just like any other empire that has fallen before, goes through. And it always starts with the currency. When the currency falls, this means that you can't tell other countries anything. Why? Because other countries are joining BRICS and the United States is left at the periphery. No one's want to side with it because of a couple of reasons, a couple of hypocrisy. Why would you fund other countries to cause instability in other countries while your people are suffering? While you can't pay workers to put the manpower in these sectors that are now lagging? You're chasing even legal immigrants away who came with papers and can do these jobs that your country, white people, cannot do this. So it raises a lot of questions. It raises a lot of concerns and some things that I feel like that it is relevant for us to have a discussion about. Well, at some point, some will argue that we need to give Mr. Donald time for him to figure out a model that would work for the citizens of the United States. I don't know if the ship has also fallen, or I don't know if Mr. Donald himself can help salvage the sinking ship. I want to know. Tell me if you think. Do you think Mr. Donald can salvage the sinking ship? I mean, I want to know how you feel about this, because it's important for us to, have a discussion about this. As I always tell you, this channel talks about contemporary things that are happening outside the world, especially United States. So I feel so remorseful for Americans in general, for everything which is going through. But at the same time, when I hear the opinions of my fellow melanated people, I get to understand that you guys turned deaf when black folks were trying to warn you all about all this. And I think it came in different sections. The American dream was all a lie, and it has never been great for our melanated folks in this country. So I most definitely really wanted to know how you really feel about all this. What's your opinion? Do you think Mr. Donald will be able to salvage the sinking ship? Or do you think the ship has already sunk and people have not just realized? And until water will reach your leg, that's when you'll know that you need to seek help, get out of the ship or get out of the country. I don't know. You just tell me how you feel about this. As you know, these are presented Jinjok Stories, and I'm hoping to see you on my next video. If you're watching this video for the first time, I'll most definitely request you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership, really get what we can offer you. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.